Welcome back to the IBSP. Here's your host, Foxy New.
Terence Crawford's resume is on the hot seat, and look, let's break it down honestly and objectively as possible. And Terence Bud Crawford has fought one top fighter in 16 years of fighting. One top name, one elite name, one guy that's at the very top. He's only fought one top guy in his whole career in 16 years. That's completely unacceptable, and Terence Bud Crawford's resume is garbage truck juice. I mean, this guy talks about he's the GOAT, could be one of the greatest fighters of all time, but you only fought one top elite name in 16 years. That does not make you the GOAT. That does not mean you're anywhere near close to the greatest of all time. Terence Crawford is completely overrated based on that statistic alone. We have to grade his career. You have to look at his career and you have to be objective about it. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people, including myself, do not believe Errol Spence was ever elite. I mean, when you look at Errol Spence and just be honest and unbiased about it, Terence Crawford's own team said this man was a hype job. They said that media and fans hyped him as a great fighter when he was never a great fighter. This is Terence Crawford's own team. So don't get mad at me for speaking what Terence Crawford's team has stated about Errol Spence. And look, back to Bud Crawford. One top name, and I'm going to give him credit for the Errol Spence fight. I'm going to say you beat this guy. He was elite. I'm going to give you the credit. And even looking at that, that makes you look even worse. 16 years, you only fought one top name? That's garbage truck juice. Bud Crawford cannot be considered great, an elite fighter, or an A-level fighter fighting one top name in 16 years. Stop mentioning him along the sides of great Hall of Fame fighters, especially guys like Canelo Alvarez. It simply doesn't make any sense. Putting him in the list with guys like Roy Jones Jr., guys like Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran. I hear Terence Crawford always mentioned with legends, and it doesn't make any sense. People always give him the benefit of the doubt, but you had one top fight in 16 years. That's completely unacceptable. And then you're going to get people that say, well, Terence Bud Crawford, he's been undisputed multiple times. He won all these world titles in multiple weight classes. Yes, and he gets credit for that. But that does not mean that you've been fighting the top competition in elite fighters. See, that means all of those accomplishments are simply hollow. Even Adrian Broner was a 4-weight world champion, and no one will say that Adrian Broner was one of the greatest fighters of all time. Make it make sense. When you look at Terence Crawford's resume, he fought Postol, Gamboa, Porter, Brook, Khan, and Mandrimov. None of those guys are elite. None of those guys were pound for pound, and none of those guys were great. So at the end of the day, when you look at it, we know his resume is paper thin. And I'm not even going to talk about the Julius Ndongos or the Jeff Horns, where people feel like this guy is just simply a great fighter for beating those guys. It's your level of competition, and his has been extremely low. If we got to be honest and unbiased, I'm going to grade Terence Crawford's career, and right now, I'm going to be very generous to Terence Bud Crawford and give him a B- as of a career, but do not mention him alongside great fighters.